This is the Negro Ninja, and I'm going to talk more about how women are very good at hiding their horniness because people fail to realize that a bitch is sex. That's what she designed for. Okay. And when you hear women try to talk about dudes for wanting sex, it's just a bitch trying to run away from her purpose. Let's just keep it real. Okay. It's just like being at a workplace, especially an office workplace, to where you hear a woman say, I only have friends outside of work. I don't come here to make friends and this, that, and this. Relationships at work is not professional. Bitch is most likely fucking like 8 niggas there. Okay, you can't believe shit a hoe say. A hoe's a walking Alistair Qualley quote. Okay, why you think it shocked so many niggas to discover that this bitch is a hoe? Okay, so just think about that. Okay, then I'm just thinking about one of my exes. You know, basically admitting that when I was trying to work my way in, she was always horny. Okay, and being turned on at the stuff I was telling her, despite the fact that she was acting like a prude. And she was telling me how she literally came in front of my face and I didn't know it. Okay, there's a story on Reddit that kind of reminds me of that scenario. Okay, oh, and then before I even say that, you know, you ever just talk to a bitch, you be talking sexual, and she acting like she ain't really, like it's just shocking her, oh my gosh. But she don't walk away. She'll respond so you can keep saying more or whatever. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not that type of woman, but she like to hear the dirty talk. Okay. You can even be doing it in the sex message. You just catch her off guard when she acting dry. Every time a bitch act dry, I'm finna make the conversation sexual. This is how I do it. Okay. But she'll just let it keep going. She'll just say something. You just keep saying something. She'll never tell you to stop. Okay. But at the same time, if this happened in person or something, and if the chick, you know, like that, she can also walk off as well. It could just be, oh, you know, and she's probably walking away because she's trying not to get herself in a situation to be fucked. Okay. But there's a lot of stuff. It's like with hoes, you know, you basically have to be a detective or what you call them, one of them niggas that be digging up fossils and shit. What is Indiana Jones? One of them type of niggas. Okay, I forgot what you call it. Damn, I forgot. I know the damn name, but I just can't think of it now. But one of them niggas. Okay, let me just look at this artifact here. You just gotta analyze it, cause you don't know what the fuck it is until you know. I mean, until you analyze it. You're like, what the hell is this bitch doing? You don't know what she's doing, really. Like you think you do, you see it. Let me just think about this. Who I see from this? This bitch is really doing this. Okay, that's what it is with these hoes. Okay. Okay, then I remember somebody sending me a picture of a chick he saw today. Why do they sit like this? Well, let me see what I told him. Okay, because a lot of stuff women do, they're just basically doing the female equivalent of waving your dick around or something. Waving, so they're just waving their pussy around, you know. Let's see. I said they're just waving their pussy around, just showing how easy it is to be sexually gratified. You know, just look at how women be seen in public and stuff like that. You know, at any given moment, they just have instant access to pleasure. It's one thing to lust, but with a chick, it's on a whole nother level. Okay, because a chick can literally come from attention alone. Like, this shit crazy. All right, so let me let y'all hear the story from Reddit. Okay, it says I squirted into my panties at the office.
Bubbling underneath, I thought, I.F. squirted into my panties at the office. I wanted to dress sexy today. I wanted to feel as though I had a big date to look forward to, even if it was only with myself.
I just wanted to dress sexy today. Okay, so just picture yourself as a man. I want women to see my muscles. That's about it. That's about as far as it go. It don't really make you high or nothing. Okay, it don't make you high or nothing, but a chick could literally get off by knowing that niggas know that she's sexy.
After so many rough weeks, I woke up feeling amazing. It might have to do with the fact I crawled under my blankets last night after trembling and gushing and melting on my bedroom floor. It might also be that I'm ovulating, and my thoughts were dripping with lust and want and need. I wanted to be noticed, My outfit consisted of a soft white button-down that's thick enough to disguise my lack of a bra, my tightest pair of black pants to keep my butt plug snug, and knee-high burgundy boots that always made me feel exceptionally naughty, and a peachy fragrance I only kept for special occasions. You might have caught me on the train today, sitting quietly and pretending to read a book, pretending I didn't have a plug up my ass and wasn't mentally undressing every other passenger, undoing their buttons and yanking down their underwear until I found what I wanted, salivating at the thought of big hard cocks throbbing in some tall guy's slacks, heart-aching as I imagined burying my face in another girl's needs.
Yeah.
I thought about how they might view me, just another Asian girl on the train off to work. Did they notice my extra makeup? Could they sense the maddening lust bubbling underneath my thoughts? Or were they like my parents and co-workers, assuming my innocence? How all the girls I've ever had over were just friends or study partners and not that I'd tied them up on my bed and melted against them with their legs wrapped around me. Or how I'd dated so many guys in college who were shocked to discover my propensity for anal rough love and my addiction to their cock. There was something so delicious in that disparity. How I only showed the world a quiet and shy girl who dressed in fuzzy sweaters and loved books and generally kept to herself. How that contrasted with the fantasies running rampant through my mind. I'm not so shy and quiet in bed. I wanted to tell them, I'm not so innocent. This pale body had wants and needs. These desires burned furious and blindingly hot.
See, now, why have it just been these bitches working against the nigga growing up? You know, you'll be around a chick like that. Yeah, you guys are so sexual. That's all you guys think about. And then, bitch probably got a butt plug talking that type of shit to you. I'm telling you, you can't trust these hoes. Okay, now I always knew that they was hiding their not only attraction but horniness, but this shit here is to the next level. Okay, but the only difference, you know, the only thing new that she kind of brought to this is she just got a butt plug up. But that's essentially how hoes in general are. Everybody think they're so innocent. Okay, and they're the biggest perverts known to man. A woman is sex. Hoes be at the park doing that shit, like the bitch I was telling y'all about the other day, who just was looking at me stretching, doing like this with her glasses. She was pretending to read a book. Okay, that's matter of fact, it's even more parts to that story that I just didn't discuss because, you know, I'm just debating on whether or not I should be talking about it. But that was wild. But that is what women do at the park. You know, they'll go out there and perv out with a book, acting like they reading a book when they really dick watching the shit. Then when they discover it, they want to get ghosts.
Stop before my station. I was checking out the crotch of some guy standing in front of me. He was holding onto the pole and stealing cheeky glances when he thought I wouldn't notice. He was young and readjusting his feet every few
I told y'all hoes like that type of shit.
moments to make sure his wingtip shoes didn't accidentally touch my boots. I wondered if he was a virgin, if I could make him finish in his pants with a sizzling look and a kiss, then suck his cum through the cloth. I wanted to open my mouth and accept his cock and let the movements of the train guide his thrust.
See, now she talking all that type of shit, and first of all, she already confirmed my suspicion that hoes be trying to make niggas nut. You know, like I said, like you'll know it. You know what I'm talking about if you see a chick trying to do it. But I'm like, this bitch really trying to make me nut on myself. I feel it. But she talking all this shit right here. Okay, but I bet you $5 if you said, "What's up?" You know, I'm not the type of woman. I have a family and this, that, and this. You know, like a hoe would rather. A lot of them bitches feel more comfortable with the fantasy unless she's sure for a fact that she can handle the nigga that she's fantasizing about. But they can always be safe up in here. They can't be challenged up in here because you don't know what they're thinking. Okay. And half the time, that's one of the reasons why they're so damn quiet, so they can't be challenged and keep whatever the fuck going on up there going.
Down my throat. The doors opened. People stepped out, and then a lady entered. She remained at the door.
Now, once again, if they was the only ones on that train, okay, the possibility of her doing what she said is, you know, is slim. Okay, I'm not saying that it won't happen. I know it's possible. Okay, but you got to just think about what is arresting this bitch, because I be feeling hoes. And they're lust. I remember one time I was walking, driving or something. I was like, this woman, I'm like, I gotta be careful with these hoes. Because I be getting the feeling, you know, because chicks play the looking game with me 24/7 all day, every day. They wilding out. Okay, they be. I'm telling you, like if I had me a spy cam, y'all would pay for that footage. But I was just walking and I just seen this chick look just. At first I thought she was mad. I'm like, why they always looking at me like they mad? What I do? But that just be her flirting. She just. And I'm like, this shit kind of scary. This bitch look like she trying to rape, like she might rape a nigga. I really get the feeling that chicks will just and then just try to swarm a nigga like a celebrity and shit. Like actually mob, because they do be swarming already, flocking and shit. But I mean like mob. They holding back. As this chick in this Reddit story is proven.
As they shut, leaning against them as the train pulled out of the station. Suddenly, I'm not interested in the young crotch in my face. I can't take my eyes off her, and she was staring right at me. Crystalline blue eyes, even in the dim light of the train. They were sharper than the frigid air outside. Luscious brown hair perfectly streamed down her wool coat. I could have sharpened my tongue on her cheekbones. She stared at me with an overwhelming sense of, I wasn't quite sure what, but I couldn't look away, not even for a moment. My confidence wavered. I felt small again. Tiny and tight, my butt clenched around my plug, my heart forgetting how to beat properly. My lungs decided the air was hostile. I had to suck an air as I studied every feature of her face. When we arrived at my station, I stood up. The guy moved to the side, and I brushed his thigh with my hip. But all I could think about was the woman. I could feel the weight of her staring at me still, like photos from the sun or some icy star. Trembling and realizing how wet I was now, I stepped off the train and climbed up the stairs out of the station without daring to glance back.
I told you gotta watch these hoes. Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised that if a lot of the women that get niggas in trouble for sexual harassment do the shit she was doing. Okay. All that Me Too shit. I bet they be doing shit like that. A lot of them hoes. Okay. And this chick here is pretty disgusting only because she's gay. But now she is unknowingly exposing, just hoes in general and how they act in a dating game. They'll see a dude, they'll entertain a dude, but they really more into the woman. Like how a lot of these hoes is really gay. Okay, now she still liked the dude, but at the same time, she liked the woman more. And once again, homosexuality more or less stems from narcissism anyway. That's why so many motherfuckers are gay these days. Like I said, notice how narcissistic society is in comparison to how it was 20 years ago. Okay. I'm telling you, like this type of stuff, all this type of stuff is really adding up and revealing itself. Okay, because, they're just so in love with themselves. They would rather. What's the story of Narcissus? A nigga that died because he tried to kiss his reflection. Just gay. Okay, what type of nigga want to kiss their reflection? You just say to yourself, "Ooh, I want to kiss my reflection." Okay, pure homosexual shit. Okay. And that's why I got to make sure that women are freaking heterosexual when they dealing with me. I don't play that gay shit. Ain't nothing cute about it. And once again, these hoes giving niggas problems because they gay. Okay, now she even went up there and brushed her hips on this nigga's thigh. Okay. But she said she was still thinking about that bitch. Okay. Oh man, it seems like we got something going on, but what is keeping this bitch from really committing? There's always something arresting this bitch. Okay.
He could have done whatever she wanted to me, whispered a nagging thought in the back of my mind. She could have had me tied up and offered to countless strangers until I was so stuffed with cock and fingers and cum that I would be reduced to a puddle in her basement where she would go skinny dipping.
I don't like this whore. I really can't stand it. So I'm trying to debate on whether or not I should just let this story play, but it's already 15 minutes almost. But I want to get to the part where she says she calmed in her panties at the office, but this is my first time actually hearing this past a minute. So let's see what else.
Those cheekbones would have left gashes on.
Now you see how she just ultimately surrendering herself to bitch. For the most part, she just thinking about sucking that nigga's dick. Okay, she didn't say that she would let the nigga use her for whatever purpose he wanted. Okay, she said that she would allow the bitch to do it. That's why I hate you rainbow zombie bitches. Okay.
My thighs. If she were to plant her lips on my pussy and stare into my soul with those eyes, there's no telling what I would have become in her arms.
See how
I stood on the street corner quivering in my boots. My pussy throbbing. The butt plug suddenly not big enough. Freezing air attacked my face. But I felt so hot, I wouldn't be surprised if steam was rising from between my legs. But it's New York City. It swallowed you whole in its throng of rushing people and traffic. As sexy as I felt, everyone else looked amazing. All the pretty faces walking by made my heart skip. The energy flowing through me had grown to...
Tell you, man, something wrong with these hoes, bro. I don't know if I can finish the rest of this, but the bitch is stupid. Let me see what let me see. I'm telling you, they just walk around thirsty. That's the shit I be talking about in my old videos, bro. That's the shit I be talking about. Okay, like I said a long time ago, I forgot what I was talking about at Barnes & Noble, but it's on that old Negro Ninja channel where I was saying that hoes be in Barnes & Noble doing that shit. Okay. They be in Barnes & Nobles doing that shit. Niggas go to Pornhub to jack off. Hoes go to Barnes & Nobles to read. Okay. Or doing what the fuck she doing. There's always somewhere where they can people watch. Okay. Then being up there trying to get niggas to talk to them and shit so they can reject them. Like I said, you gotta realize that a hoe can even reject as easily as they can because they always fucking with you from a place of comfort. You notice that shit? Okay. Always fucking with you from a place of comfort. That bitch should have her whole life together. Bitch can have a husband. She can have a nice friendship with somebody or a social circle or something. Connections. Nice career. And just sit around and just fuck with you. Okay. That is what they do. Okay. And it seems like the better they have the shit going, the more they want to fuck with people. Like I was saying in that video about Aladdin. Look at Jasmine. Bitch walking around in the streets when this bitch living in a palace trying to fuck with niggas. Okay. And then, like, if this was real life, Aladdin would have never saw that bitch again. Okay, he's sitting up there getting a bond with her, and you think you in it together with these hoes. These hoes is already somewhere else. Y'all ain't doing shit. She just there to reach. I'm just reaching here into some shit I want. Okay. That's what that is. I didn't come to stay. Why is it always niggas trying to argue with me? It's always niggas that don't know what the fuck they talking about trying to argue with me. Damn. Shut your... That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be around people. Like, you can't be great walking amongst peasants. Okay. All right, let me see what this is on Instagram. Better not be no troll. But yeah, man. This shit here crazy. They always fucking with niggas. From a place of comfort. Okay, that's why I'm saying the hoe has to really struggle. When she's not doing so well, you know, they can see some shit better. Okay, let me see. Somebody just made a comment saying something similar a while back on one of these posts I was reading. Or let play. Hold up. See if I can find it. I think it was on that video to where I was letting that story play about this hoe telling a nigga with 7 inches that he was too small. She fucked that nigga's head up so bad that I thought that he was 2 inches writing the story until he said how big he was. I'm like, you gonna let this bitch make you, you know, like I said, like, you gotta have a weak mind. Like, women love men with weak minds. Okay, like I said, the dude who she preferred probably was just about like 0.5 or an inch bigger or something. He had like this nigga, well, you know, he had like he was 2 inches and the nigga was like 8 or something. Now she fucked that nigga up. Let's see if I can find it. Damn, I got a lot of videos. Hold on. Why you love her? Is she in the room comparing dick sizes? That's the name of the video. Let's see. Damn, I guess YouTube must have deleted his comment. But he was saying how you have to put holes in your shoes for them to feel something. Hold on, let me see. It probably still probably up here. Okay, so Beyond Limitless says you always have to put these hoes in your shoes in order for them to relate to shit that they can't naturally see outside themselves. See, that's why these hoes got to suffer. Okay, they got to suffer. And, people be looking at me like I'm crazy for saying this shit. But once again, all the bitches that have done me wrong, like say for instance, okay, and I'm thinking about low key doing another video. But, like I said, you think you in this together. Okay, let me just go ahead and just say an old story. I might just do another video. I was at the pool. Okay, and wasn't nobody really there. It was just me and this white girl just basically playing the looking game. And it was very pleasant, like I said, this type of stuff is very intimate. Like when you know a woman is giving you attention and you just feel the tension with just silent and stuff. And I'm like, I ain't gonna approach this bitch. I was here first. Bitch, you want to say something, you come to me. And that was all cool. Okay. And I would have said something out on the way home, but I just went for to walk over there. I figured we was leaving out at the same time. And I figured, this might be the perfect time to actually say something since we got to walk. So what happened was she was doing the flirty stuff, and she was literally engaging and like looking and stuff too. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay. But I'm like, something still was telling me, no, don't say nothing to this bitch. Don't do it. Remember, stick to your guns. Fuck that shit. Okay. So I said, whatever. And I just decided to leave or whatever when it started really raining. Because I figured this is the perfect time to do something. Because me and her could have went into the wash house or something, but she ain't set me up. Okay, she was just sitting right there. Like I said, if she wanted to fuck, she would have done it. Like I said, the shoe was on the other foot, and that was my girlfriend, and the nigga up there that was looking like me was up there. And if I was looking like the nigga that she was with, she would have cheated. Okay, but I'm not saying, that I wanted that to happen. I'm just saying, okay, what would have happened? Plus, I didn't even know she had a nigga until I decided to leave. Then she started to leave. Okay, I'm like, okay, very flirty. Then I come to find out that she called her nigga up to pick her up. I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed. I'm like, so you basically is low key cheating right there because the dude was already looking sideways when he saw me leaving anyway. Oh, she was up there with that nigga the whole time. So he was already kind of wondering, like he had a look on his face. But I really felt betrayed. Okay, I don't think she should have been conducting herself in such a manner if she was in a relationship, in my opinion. Okay, so you get a nigga looking at you weird and then that didn't even happen and they didn't even know they was together anyway. Bitches ain't shit. But once again, she was in a place of comfort. And she did that type of shit. Okay. Just like this hoe on the train with a butt plug up her ass. Fuck with niggas. Okay, you see how she just rubbed her ass against that nigga when she was walking out? Okay, now if it would have said, hey, how you doing? I noticed, you like you trying to fuck. What's up? Oh, no, I got something to do. She would have ran the fuck out. All right. Let me see if that's all the points I got to say. Because I think that's all the story. I thought this was going to be a good story about that hoe who squirted in her panties at her job. But it seemed like it's going to be mostly gay, so I don't really want to play the rest of this shit. But, she's just right there, just on the train, horny and shit. Lean niggas on. Because, like I said, nigga probably thinking, I might have a shot. And if he would have talked to her, I don't think that would have happened. Okay. Let me read the comments of this shit. Hold up. Read the comments.
Grown twist.
And like I said, bisexual women are the worst. They got so many games. All right, let me just skim through the video. Because it's lyrics, so I'm just going to press it and see. What the hell is going on? Damn, this shit here. So I guess she ain't really talking about nothing gay that much. No, she's talking about some gay shit. She mixed it in with her fantasies about dudes. So I think I'm gonna just pass on that. But yeah, man, they always in the place of comfort, And And then if you look past that, like I said, a woman can just get off just by getting attention. Okay, they just go wherever they want to. They can just expose whatever body part they want to be seen at and just sit there and bask because they know niggas looking. Just getting off on it. But you better not come at me sexually. And a man and a woman don't have to be sexual when they're around each other. Okay, like this one hoe I heard on here talking about some, if she don't see a man with female friends, that's a red flag, because in his mind everything has to be sexual with a woman. You see how they do you right there? But everything is sexual to her, but she trying to act like she more reserved. Like I told y'all, hoes and sex, okay, it's like a fat person in food. You don't see that motherfucker eating, but you know that nigga's eating. Okay, then when you see the fat motherfucker around the food, especially them hoes, you ever notice that around the hoes? Like a fat dude would just eat the food, but a hoe be trying to call reserved and shit. I'm like, shit your big ass down. You know damn well that you did not take patience to get that damn fat. Your ass was anxious to get fat, because that's what you would pack your goddamn mouth and eat before you was hungry. Okay, be trying to call reserved with the food and shit. Fat hoes be eating cheeseburgers with forks and spoons. Eating fries with forks and spoons and shit. Well, you need to stop your bullshit. Okay. But yeah, they always in a place of comfort. Okay, I'm finna play games with you. I'm in the comfort of my home behind this computer screen or phone text messages. Okay. I want to flash my titties while you walking, while you see me on this train or while I'm in the car. They'll do some shit like that. Okay. They do shit like that. Let me just flash titties. Like I remember when I was working corporate, women was doing a whole bunch of sexual shit to me. I don't know how they can sense me, but they be sensing me from a mile away, I promise you. And then she know that I'm looking, she'll just turn around and just start doing something sexual. I'm like, you doing this because I'm like on a 60-something floor or something. You think you're slick. But like I said, it's so many stories with that shit. That shit was mind-boggling. That's why I missed that job. But that's all I got to say for this rant. And this has been the Negro Ninja, bringing you your Negro message for today. Negro out.